Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're doing our next charitable giving and financial webinar. My name is Michael Horn, and I'm Vice President here at Final Frontiers Foundation.
My name's Daniel Nelms. I'm president at Final Frontiers.
And my name is Scott Vigneri. That's how you pronounce that alphabet soup there. And I apologize for the somewhat casual appearance. I'm at a marine office. Long story short, we had to scramble today, but we're here. So looking forward to this. This one is interesting. It was so much there, so we're barely going to scratch the surface today. But basically, the whole endeavor today is just kind of make you aware of what's out there, if nothing else. So,
well, I'm excited. I'll get switched over to the slideshow and let you take it away, Scott.
So we've been talking for some time about charitable giving. And today we're going to be talking about charitable giving with cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a long list of others. And they're here today and gone tomorrow. And then AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, and it is here to stay. And it is changing literally from day to day in what it's doing. It used to be GPT was incredible, but now Chat GPT is kind of, in some cases, third or fourth generation. It's still kind of mainstream, but and the whole reason we do these webinars is that we want to find better ways to get the gospel to the world. And there are many, many hungry people in the world. And this young lady here is down in the Honduras, in the jungle. And many of them don't really have a home to speak of. And it's hard for us to imagine these kind of conditions in today's. But what is also interesting is that many of these people are actually kind of happy where they're at. They don't regret not having Maserati in the driveway or stuff like that.
Me neither.
But they still need Jesus. And many times missionaries or Final Frontiers will go down and hand out Bibles, and they are thronged, literally surrounded by people reaching up to get a Bible. And yes, there will be cases where they just want something free. And you know what? Maybe that was their motivation, but then they started reading it and it started grabbing their heart and they came to know Jesus as their savior. Or there's people who have been praying literally to find some way to hear more about the gospel, and God sent somebody to send them a Bible. And those stories are out there. We don't know people's hearts, but God does. And so this young lady's in Honduras in the jungles, and she had an opportunity to get saved. We don't know if she got saved. At least as far as I know, we don't know whether or not she did, but maybe she did. But she did get an opportunity. And so that, again, that's what all this is about. And we've been talking about charitable giving, but moving forward, I've decided we're going to move into more just tax planning. And that is a little broader scope. And the reason we're going to do that is that find ways to have more money to send and to help, and not only help missions, but help yourself. Help yourself with your spending and your income, and find ways to be smart about it. The IRS has given so many opportunities. The problem is many, many people don't know about it. And I'm sitting with a client right now. Yeah. He makes $500,000 a year. He wants to reduce his taxes. He pays $70,000 in taxes. And he wants to help reduce his taxes so he can develop a better future and have a little more spendable income. These same kind of topics, these same kind of concepts can apply to everybody. It just depends on where you're at and what works for you. There's things that, it's not worth the cost. It doesn't give you enough benefit. But I want to just make you aware of these things moving forward. So today, We're going to kind of lightly brush the topic of crypto and AI. So let's move to the next slide. And as I said, we've been talking for quite some time about charitable planning, and it's kind of an old estate planning, stodgy topic in a lot of people's minds. But you think of old offices, like maybe a Scrooge type office with stacks of books and a dark wood panel and stuff like that, and some grumpy old man. But now we're going to jump into the 21st century and be almost to the 22nd, and literally, boom. When you start learning about crypto and AI, especially AI, and what is happening, literally, boom is the right word, a sonic boom. When I was a young man, I grew up near an Air Force base called Lockbourne Air Force Base. Either changed to Rickenbacker or it was Rickenbacker before that in Columbus, Ohio. And I would hear the jets fly overhead. And back in those days, yes, I'm that old, they would make sonic booms and the windows in our house would shake. That's what this is doing. AI is creating a sonic boom and it is shaking the windows. So we have the option of either we can bite our nails in fear and think that, it's going to take over the world. It is creating technology where people can use things, yes. But on the other side of that, we can use it for our benefit as well, and along with crypto. And so we want to have the right mindset that let's take advantage of it. Let's use AI. I wrote the article from this month on AI and crypto. I got on an AI program called Copilot, and it did it in 3 minutes. And I was like, wow. I had to go through and edit it and make, a little adjustment here and there. But in 3 minutes, I went, this is unbelievable. This is actually kind of scary. And it wasn't perfect. And I did the slideshow the same way. It did not do the slides. It gave me all the text. And I had to insert the text, and that took a little more work to copy and paste. And again, I was going to make a lot of changes, but I said, no, let's just leave it this way so people can see what AI can do. There are many, many benefits, and it can help us with so many things. So let's go ahead and jump to the next page. So what is cryptocurrency? It is a digital form of currency, and it is based on what they call blockchain technology. And so it has a record of going from A to B to C to D. And anybody can look back and see the chain of ownership. It is all digital. And years ago now, Bitcoin came out. It was one of the first, if not the first. That's the one you hear about the most. Nobody says they really understand who came out with Bitcoin. There's all kinds of theories about this guy or that guy created it. He's either super wealthy or kicking himself for not being able to take advantage of it. On the one hand, there are people just thronging into it and speculating and taking chances. And there are people who have made millions of dollars by jumping into this. And I don't mean old guys like me. I mean 20-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids have millions of dollars because they got involved in this. And they own facilities where they have all their computers in their rack space. They do trading in Bitcoin and just instantaneously. The current market value is $1.62 trillion. That is a lot of coinage. And using using crypto to give to charity is very easy, but there are certain challenges that you need to be aware of. it's all digital. So you can do it from your phone easily. You can do it boom, boom, boom. You can you can do it sitting in the Starbucks waiting for your coffee or something like that. You could donate, you know, depending on your account value, you could donate $100,000. Boom, done. So, all right, let's move to the next one, please. Most people are utilizing what they call donor advised funds. And we talked about donor advised funds a few months ago. And there are more donor advised funds that have embraced, literally, and some of them have literally embraced the technology and have set up the process to be able to accept cryptocurrency. And so that's why donor advised funds are significant. And the fact also that a donor advised fund can be more of a holding fund, and you put your money in. Let's say I have a client who he likes to give $50,000 a year. So we have $100,000 in Bitcoin. We put it into the donor advised fund, and he gets a newsletter from Final Frontiers, and they want to build a church in India, and they need 20,000. He gets on his phone, boom, $20,000 is sent to Final Frontiers for that India church, or any other charity that you want to donate to. But we're doing this for Final Frontiers, so we're going to focus on Final Frontiers because they are getting the gospel out. And so they can be used as a charitable tool for crypto holders. And it's critical to utilize donor advised funds that are equipped and have the experience in handling crypto donations. Not all of them do. So it's important that they not only have the equipment or the ability, but that they've done it and they understand what it takes. Because there are a couple of little things you need to be aware of, and we should get to that here in just a minute. So if you want to move to the next one. So what are the tax implications? There's always tax implications with anything, aren't there? The IRS currently regards cryptocurrency as property, not as, money or something like that. So this is one of the important points. So as a property, it requires an appraisal prior to donation. So you have to get it appraised by a certified cryptocurrency appraiser. It's not that hard, but it can easily be done. Then when you donate it, that's the value you will be credited. And you have to be able to certify that through your appraisal. What are the capital gains implications for cryptocurrency held as an investment asset? It's like any other thing that grows. You're going to have capital gains to deal with. The advantages of contributing long-term cryptocurrency is to mitigate the capital gains tax. And here's where the AI, this applies to many other things as well. But the AI is just talking about crypto. So it makes it sound like this is specific to crypto, but it's not. Now, the appraisal is, but you would have to do the same thing with real estate. If you donated real estate, there'd have to be an appraisal, or other types, maybe artwork or some antiques or something like that. You'd have to get an appraisal so you can get the value. So if you donate to a donor advised fund, to a 501c3 organization, that can help reduce your capital gains tax. And there's a lot of estate planning attorneys. They will set you up with what they call charitable remainder trusts. We talked about that before. Charitable lead annuity trusts. We've talked about that before very briefly. You can utilize trusts along with a pooled income. You can even use these in your pooled income. So, and we briefly touched on pooled income funds a long time ago. Not just pooled income, but pooled income funds. So, all right, next one. Keep having to move my screen around. So one of the donor advised funds, and this is not necessarily a recommendation, is the National Philanthropic Trust, And this is where the AI mentioned them. There are many, many others. But they're one of the earliest ones to start accepting crypto donations. And as it says here, they've been accepting them since 2017, which in this context has been quite a long time. They were one of the early adopters, first adopters. And they have accepted Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and others, and there will be more to come. Personally, my favorite is Ethereum because I like the basis that it was built on. And I'm a fan of the guy who built it. Don't ask me his name, I can't remember it. But so they have a process for accepting crypto contributions. They do a due diligence process, which is part of the appraisal. And any donor advised fund or any charity that you give to, you want to make sure that they have this process, because you don't want it to come back to you at some point in the future. You don't want the IRS to come back and go, this due diligence wasn't properly done. And because it wasn't, then you now owe us taxes for all of this. And that's can happen. So you don't want that. Make sure you do it right from the get-go. And then you need a signed affidavit. Boy, I can't pronounce words today. You need a signed affidavit, which comes along with that appraisal. And then here we go, a digital wallet transfer. And again, blockchain and smart contracts. An interesting thing about smart contracts. A merchant in some foreign country sells some merchandise, 50,000 widgets to ABC retailers in the United States. And they put it on the ship and they send that ship over to America. As you may have heard, we are having some real issues with piracy and other things. So what happens is this smart contract will know if that ship stops somewhere for too long, it voids the contract. It's built into that contract. And then they won't accept the shipment. And that can cause a lot of problems for the shipper, the manufacturer, and the buyer. Where's my merchandise? I've got all these orders. Or the manufacturer, I sent all these, I sent my 50,000 widgets. Where are they? Well, they know, the ship stopped at this latitude and so on and so forth. And so they can research it. It used to be, they had no idea. Sometimes the whole ship would disappear. And so smart contracts, blockchain, that all is part of it. There's several digital wallets out there. Coinbase, and I can't think of the other ones right now, but Coinbase is probably one of the more prominent ones, and it's been in the news a little more lately. But yes, a digital wallet. Again, you get on your phone, boom, it's done. Okay, next slide. So the benefits of crypto is that you can make real world impact. Let me move this over here now. Many of us are still trying to wrap our heads around this technology, but the bottom line is we can still reach out and we can still get Bibles to these people. We can still help them get water. We can still help them get these pastors get motor scooters. We can still help some pastors build a church. We can still take care of a pastor while he is out soul winning, and he can take care of his family. He doesn't have to try to work a job all day and build the church. But the beauty of this is that we can do it so much quicker. It's pretty much instantaneous relative to what it used to be. And it can be a little more transparent and efficient, and inclusivity, whatever that means. That's an AI contribution. And artificial intelligence is becoming more and more prevalent in managing and optimizing crypto-based charitable giving. It is becoming more and more prevalent in everything. It's the technology in medicine is incredible what it's doing. And so it's, sorry, somebody just walked in. Managing and optimizing crypto-based charitable giving, the AI, what it can do and what it's been doing in medicine, and it's going to affect banking in a humongous way. And we are used to, banking is now global and almost universal. I can be in, my niece and my nephew were just here from India, and I can use WhatsApp and talk to them in India, and I can send money to them instantly by using WhatsApp or another, and I can send crypto and stuff like that. And they have 96 students in their school. They're looking for teachers. Boom, I can send them, money or crypto to help with that. And so the real world impact is I can still help get the gospel to people, but I'm using technology. So let's move on. So a little redundancy here, but cryptocurrency is becoming more and more mainstream and less of a novelty. I would encourage you to at least explore it and at least try to understand it, because it is going to be part of your world. It's not a choice. It's coming. And we're better off to understand how it works and to learn how to take advantage of it instead of being railroaded and steamrolled and surprised. Learn how to take advantage of it and use it for your own good. Same thing with artificial intelligence. It's becoming more a part of life and will be a factor in charitable planning. You're going to go to the doctor. As I said, it's a huge factor in medical. It's becoming a huge factor in everything that we're going to do. There's many available sources to learn more on the concept, and obviously you can get on Google or you can get on Bing. Google is using AI in their searches now. Their GEM, I think is what they call it, GEM. And there's problems with it. It's not perfect, but boom, it's even faster than what it used to be. And as I said, I would encourage everyone to learn how to take advantage of it. I wrote this, as I said, I wrote this script for the text for these slides on Copilot artificial intelligence. And there's another one called Oasis. And there's, like I said, they come out, there's one new one every day. And the same with crypto. Learn how to use it. My son invests in crypto, and that's what he does. That's his job. And he has lived on his earnings from crypto for about a year now. He's not making tons of money, but at some point he's probably going to have learned enough that he's going to do very well with it. But I would really encourage you to learn more about it. And then it can open up other doors for you on how you can give and how you can contribute to help get the gospel out. All right, next slide, I think. So here's our legal eagles. All charts, numbers, this was all for educational purposes. Any accuracy is not warranted nor implied. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a tax advisor. It's not to be considered advice or recommendations. And if you do any tax planning or it's sit down with your tax advisor and your attorney when considering any of these concepts that we talk about. But make sure that your attorney and your tax advisor and your financial advisor are knowledgeable and practiced in these areas. Make sure they know what they're doing. I can't tell you how many people we've come across that they knew somebody and, can you do this? Oh yeah, we can do that. And then they come to us and they thought, I thought it was like this. And we find out, no, this is actually going to cause you more problems than. So be sure they know what they're doing. All right, move on. And there we go. I want to thank you for taking the time to visit with us. Hopefully that kind of piques your interest and you want to learn a little bit more because you want to help get the gospel out. And a Savior who gave everything on the cross for us. And no matter how much I give, it's not enough. No matter what I do, it's not enough for what he did, for a loving God that loved us so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Hallelujah. And yeah, maybe I'm getting a little preachy there, but it's the truth. And I've seen people who have accepted it and the light goes off in their heart. We had a youth rally this past weekend at our church, and my wife witnessed to this young girl. She was 15 years old. And the girl asked her, she said, will God know when I pray? This is how unfamiliar with the Bible and with God that people are. And she sweetly got saved that day. And now she's on her way to heaven. And I just was thrilled to hear that for her. And these people here, that we're looking at, the one slide right there, he's preaching the gospel to them. I don't know if they're all saved. And I'm sure that some of them got saved. This older lady here, is she saved? I hope so. And that young boy there. Around the world, everywhere. And that's the advantage of AI and crypto. We can go much quicker around the world. And so I want to thank you. Any questions, Michael?
I just had one question. You mentioned, I guess you meant to get crypto appraised when you donate.
Yes.
Do you know if there's like a dollar limit? I know like we often deal with like vehicles being donated for ministry, people getting donation for that. If it's over a certain limit, then you have to get the proper appraisal. Below that, it's a lot simpler. I didn't know if there was a similar thing for crypto.
Or you mean like a car, if it's below $500, you don't have to get it appraised or
Something like that.
That's a good question, but I don't think there is any kind of floor limit on it. And usually most contributions in crypto are usually much larger than that, but I don't have a definite answer on that. But from what I've looked at and from what I've seen, it doesn't seem that that's the case. It seems like when you donate crypto, it has to be appraised because of the fluctuation and value and how quickly it can change. I think that's part of it too. I mean, Bitcoin, wow, it can change overnight, literally. So,
Yes.
Or over day.
over day too, yeah. Or between lunch. It can go both ways. And it's an unknown for a lot of us, but it's here and it's not going to disappear. And yes, it's on the one hand, it can be a little bit alarming because of what it can provide, but it's here. And so let's take advantage of it as much as possible and learn how to use it and not be afraid of it. And, many of the technologies that we're used to that are part of everyday life weren't that way 100 years ago, 200 years ago. And we just take them for granted. I mean, I drove to work. I was doing 75 miles an hour. And yes, I was over the speed limit, 5 miles. I had to keep my life because I was going to get run over otherwise. Not by cars, but by trucks. And but you know what, 100 years ago, 75 miles an hour,
Unheard
people
of.
Unheard of.
qualify, and I think they do it. So, but me, you know, I'm drinking coffee, driving 75 miles an hour, and
A Ford Model T, I think the top speed was around 35 or 40, something like that. So,
but so as I mentioned, from this point forward, we're going to do more tax planning and maybe even explore some ways to cut costs if you're a business owner. And like I said, to help provide more, you know, charitable planning, a lot of people put it over in the corner here and think it doesn't apply to them. But reducing your taxes applies to many people. And that can help give you more to, and if we can use it in a more tax efficient way and do the charitable planning, and that's the thing about many charitable planning concepts, they give you more powerful tax benefits than just without it. But like I said, many people look at charitable planning as like, no, that's not for me. So we'll talk about some other concepts moving forward. All right.
Well,
Anything else?
wonderful. That is it. So make sure you go to our website, finalfrontiers.world/webinars, and you can check for upcoming webinars, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining, and we certainly enjoyed this talk on crypto and AI today.
Yeah, we very briefly scratched the surface, but yes.
Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Thank you.